All right, guys, welcome back to Boat Bets for our Ribas versus Namajunas pick pretty much here. So, got my guy Carson with me as always.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Yeah, coming off of a sweep card for us on Tuivasa versus Tybora. Some nice units have a 15% ROI right now. We're just killing it. So, get on the Patreon, get that stuff early. And we got 4 bets for you guys. First bet, I just like Lima's game, and I've kind of made this rule for myself where anybody coming off the Dana White's Contender Series or just in general a UFC debutant, I'm gonna mostly just stick to a 1 unit bet maximum on these guys, just because they haven't had the full scope of film or anything like that. Um, in my eyes, just better, more dangerous striker, and I think he can just keep this fight on the feet. Igor kind of lets you go on these 50-50s, leaving himself exposed, and I just see Lima being better on the feet completely. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Lima's very patient on the feet, and he's got really good takedown defense. I think Igor will be trying to take this one to the mat, and I think Lima's takedown defense will hold up, and he'll be able to outstrike him on the feet. I don't know if he'll find a finish. Both these guys are super young, but yeah, I like Lima to win here.
I was hoping for a better line, but I still feel compelled to play this one. Hopefully, gets us to a nice start. Next, give me Cody Gibson. I feel like Myles Johns should not be the favorite in this situation. He's a somewhat of a gasser. He's got a wrestling background. He just came through on a win versus Dan Argueta, where he was the underdog. He had an okay performance. He looked tired, but he had the bigger shots. Gibson, I feel like just gonna have more tools in this fight. He's gonna be able to kick. He's gonna have the better submission ground game, and then he's gonna, I think, just poke and prod at distance. And maybe the only thing he doesn't have is one shot knockout power for Johns, but he's still got dangerous knees, good body kicks, and yeah, for his age, he's fighting pretty fucking well. So
Yeah, yeah. Cody Gibson's huge for this division. 3 inch height advantage and 5 inch reach advantage. So I think he'll use both those to his advantage here and win a decision. I think
yes, sir. Maybe I think maybe even a third round finish. That's
late.
something I
Okay.
debated looking at, but since I already have a bet on him, I'm just gonna let it roll with just one single bet on that fight. Prop bets. Got Trey Ogden and Kurt Hollabau over 2.5 rounds. Trey Ogden's just a over 2.5 round fighter. I mean, he almost had that finish versus Mata, but I believe it was like a minute left in the fight when that choke was kind of in progress. Um, and he fought Jordan Levitt, and Jordan Levitt was leg kicking him, and Trey Ogden couldn't get into range for some reason, land any of his hands. I think also he'll be doing a lot of blast double takedowns to try to uh, take down Hollabau. Hollabau kind of walks into some takedowns with his pressure game occasionally. So I see this one going over 2.5 rounds. I see the submission threat on the Ogden side, but Hollabau does have a good jiu-jitsu game himself, and then the KO threat on the Hollabau side. So it'd be interesting. But for the overprice and how Ogden has performed throughout his career, I think this is gonna hit. So
Yeah, Ogden's been making these guys fight his fight, and he just doesn't throw enough volume or anything to knock anybody out, and he doesn't get knocked out either. He's been subbed a few times, but all those are pretty far back, and I don't see Hallbell finding a submission here.
amen. I hope not. And then finally, I didn't get the best line on this, but I still believe in it here. Edmund Shabazian, AJ Dobson over 2.5 rounds. Now both guys have like a good amount of finishes on the record, especially Edmund. However, I feel like Edmund has also run through a lot of less talented fighters. And coming into this one, I think AJ Dobson, there might be a little bit of wrestling mixed in, but I've also seen a lot of hesitancy from AJ Dobson just in the striking game. And we haven't seen Edmund just like obliterated on the feet. For the most part, he's just getting taken down and then ground and pounded out. I don't see Dobson just taking it to the ground and just absolutely destroying him. We also know Edmund's improving in that scenario or on the ground. So I like this fight just to stay on the feet, be a point fight battle. I feel like I've gotten a pretty good read on AJ Dobson. I think like the 3 times he's fought, 2 or 3 times, I've made money every single time he's I bet on a fight he's in. So hopefully that stays the same here.
Yeah, for Dobson's all 3 UFC fights, they've all been decisions, and I think that continues here. Yeah, he's very hesitant. He could mix in some grappling, and I don't think he'll ground and pound Shabazian out. Yeah, I mean Shabazian has a lot of KO power and has a lot of KOs on his record, but Dobson's never been KO'd or subbed before, so I do like the over.
Yeah, I mean, these are the bets we got. I mean, there's a lot of other potential spots I'd say that I'd like to play, but we're not able to because of state restrictions to sports books. Because on Bet Online, Bet US, you can't parlay like alternate rounds, or a lot of that's not available. So, um, I think the alternate over, and for example, the Julian Erosa fight, the Muhammad Usman fight. I'm just talking over 1.5 rounds in general for a bunch of these. Over 1.5 Trey Ogden fight, over 1.5 Edmund Shabazian fight, over 1.5 Peyton Talbot, Cameron Simon. Any of those, I think you just parlay up a bunch of those and you come out to a decent number. I think that's a good option. I know you're
Yeah,
looking at some of that stuff.
yeah, I was looking at some of those. I was debating whether or not Talbot and Simon over 2.5. Debating about it, but yeah, I don't know. I'll just stay away. This card's not the best for betting, I'd say. A lot of sketchy fights here.
Yeah, definitely not. I also just noticed like some things like the over 2.5 and the Billy Q Zalal fight is just ridiculous. Like it's way too high considering how violent the fight can be. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't love too many spots as I'm just looking up and down the card here. Yeah, a lot of lower level fights, and I don't want to make any mistakes on those. So, anything else from you?
Yeah, not gonna force anything on this bad card, so it is what it is.
Yep, simple as that, guys. Stay tuned, of course, for the next card picks, which come out early, and we've already got bets for UFC Atlantic City on Patreon. So, of course, if you guys want to beat those odds, beat the line movement, I suggest getting on there, and it'll pay for itself, folks. So, yep. All right. Ready?
Peace.
Peace.